All right. It was a dark and stormy night,
Whoa.
is what you say to the group of children at the library that you're reading out loud to.
Okay. I've read
You
for groups of kids before.
yeah, you're just doing, it's kind of like charity work, you know what I mean? Giving back to the community a little bit.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. You're so you're there, you're at Lanalax Library, and they bill it as story time with silly Mr. Aaron.
Oh
And
man.
you go there and you're dressed in like a Hawaiian shirt and you know, like matador pants, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so
Hawaiian. I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt and the pants of a matador.
yeah.
Like the
Silly
tight.
yeah. Silly Mr. Aaron.
Why?
Because they're like, he's a comedian, so let's like I feel like,
Why am I
we
wearing like, tight pants like that?
I mean, I don't
Pants
know. This
that are worn when you try to dodge a bull. I'm
yeah,
reading to kids.
but you feel like metaphorically
Pat,
you're kind of dodging a bull because this is because it could have been a lot worse, man. So
I don't.
you've been sentenced to community service.
What? Why? This isn't charity at all. This is community service. Those are two different things, Pat.
Right, but like you got like when people ask what you're doing that like, oh, what are you up to this weekend? You're like, oh, I gotta go read to kids. They're like, oh, you're doing charity, good for you, and you're like, definitely, like you don't even tell them.
Why? Why am I sentenced to community service?
Um, you were basically involved in one of the largest brouhahas in the history of Los Angeles.
What the fuck are you even talking about?
So you were booked to play at this like fan convention kind of, and the reason that you were booked to like do like a comedy set in the middle, it's like it was supposed to be like a 12-hour long thing, and it's like, all right, in the middle we'll have like some other entertainment acts just to kind of
Yeah, yeah,
mix
yeah.
things up. So there was a big brouhaha because it seems that it's never really made clear why this happens, but half the people there thought that they were at a fan convention for the Verve, and then the
Yeah.
other half were there for the Verve pipe.
Oh, okay. Who's
So
correct? Pipe or no pipe?
again, it's not you're not really. I mean, you don't see the invitation. Basically, you're just like hit up by someone who is like, we'd love to have you perform uh here at Verve Fest.
Man, one time I did a very intense rendition of Freshman at a karaoke night.
Yeah.
Very intense. It's a very intense song. I got real into it.
Yeah.
So this is Verve Fest. So
Yeah.
it sounds like it's not no pipe.
Yeah, but then underneath it says uh rock music, piping hot. So it's people are they see that and they're a little confused. So it's like it's Verve or it's Verve pipe that they're doing like a thing, like what's going on. And so there is like a giant fight and you're kind of like in the middle of it. So even though,
Why am I in
you
the middle of this fight?
because the fight broke out like right when you're on stage, and so they're like, oh, you incited a riot basically.
What the fuck? What? Why? What did I have to do with this?
You went on stage and you just like riffed about how like silly it is. Like, it seems like half the people here seemed are here for the Verve. Hey, make some noise if you guys are here for the Verve. And exactly half of the people listening go, yeah. And you go, okay, what about Verve pipe? Do we got any pipe heads here tonight? Exactly. half of the people in the crowd, and no one like there's no overlap. Go, yeah, and you
I'm
go,
an overlap. I'll take both of them. I love them both.
right, and you say that you go, look,
You
guys,
know,
you guys, look, guys, I got to be honest with you. I love both groups, but I'm just kind of wondering like whose convention is this? And then you see this guy in the crowd, this like shirtless dude. He's got
great.
like a wooden axe, you know. His face is painted fucking purple, and he just yells. He yells, "This land belongs to the Verve."
This guy sounds like a fucking psychopath. He's
And
carrying a fucking axe into like a music festival. How did he get that in? Oh, it's because it's made of wood.
then you hear somebody else kind of like steps up. You know what I mean? They have like a they're wearing like a wolf skin like around their like wolf fur. I mean, you know,
These
around
two
their.
guys just need to go.
And he goes, pshaw, verve pipe all the way, baby. This is ours. And then it just starts this fight. And so you, without
This
meaning
horseshit.
to, started this gigantic brouhaha.
This fucking sucks.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
I like
So,
both of these artists.
so beyond that, the deal though is that you're not even that stressed though about it. You know, you're like, yeah, I got to do this community service, but frankly, life is too good at the moment for you to be that upset.
Why?
You have been raking in the cash lately.
Why is that? And how
Um,
what are we talking here?
you're doing the like sports betting.
Oh no.
You're betting on sports, and you are kind of the talk of the online sports betting community. They're like, we've never seen a debut like this because you have gotten every single pick correctly. It doesn't matter what the sport is, what's going on, like what the category is. Sometimes, you know, who's going to win.
Yeah,
Sometimes
what
it's like,
type of bet is it?
yeah,
Over under? What's the spread?
whatever gets you the most cash. That's the one that you do. And
I'm hitting a lot of parlays.
you start calling yourself the parlay prince.
Oh shit. How
You
many
act,
what's the
you
how
actually
many
you get like a gold crown that you wear, you know, it's like plastic or whatever. But you put it on and you feel like a prince.
how many bets make up the biggest parlay I've ever hit?
17.
Holy shit, Pat. A seven. That's
You,
insane.
and you
How
made
much money is this bringing me?
quite a bit. You are like you've only just begun.
To live.
So you're like you're doing you're starting to do very well with this because at first you were sort of a little hesitant, a little nervous, you know. So
Yeah.
you're walking back from this you know, the community service of you reading. You read this horror book to the kids that somebody picked
Why?
out.
Why the fuck am I gonna read a horror book to children, Pat?
They picked it out. You just read it. It was it was a mistake. It was for the wrong book club. And so you're like, it was a dark and stormy night, and everyone's like, oh, cool. And then you're like, when the vampires came and sucked all the blood from the brains of your parents, or like stuff like that. And then the kids are like kind of freak out, and you're like, what, guys? It's not gonna. This isn't real. Your parents are gonna die like some other way, and they freak out even more. Like my parents are gonna die, and you're like, oh.
Right.
So, like
This
I said,
sounds so good.
but that's the thing. You think to yourself as you walk home, you almost skip home. You just think to yourself, it's all good, man.
So good, man. So good, man.
You start singing that to yourself as you
So
walk.
good, man. So good, man.
And it is all good, man.
Why? Because the only thing you've described so far is that I've been sentenced to community service where I terrify a library full of children.
Because there ESPN betting has now is now like a thing that's covered on ESPN. And so they you have a meeting with them later on about doing your own gambling show. Because like I
Oh,
said, there has not been a rookie debut as far as like sports betting goes
how much money have I
for
made?
quite some time. So far you have made $775,000. Maybe that's
Man,
why there's a little pep in your step. So
that's fucking crazy.
so what happened was so hold on, we'll get to that in a second. So you walk home, you're in a good mood. You open up the door, close it, and your pet is sitting there waiting for you.
I have a pet.
So what happened was about a month or so ago, you went to a what do you call secondhand stores, to
Like a
kind
thrift
of
store.
yeah, thrift store, just to kind of like see what they had. You had a free after you had afternoon where there's too much traffic. There wasn't enough traffic for you to go home before you went back out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
um, so you went to a thrift shop and you were like humming that song thrift shop earlier in the day. So it's maybe you're kind of like, oh, that's kind of a coincidence.
The Macklemore smash hit.
Featuring Ryan Lewis, yes. You always
All
remember
right.
Ryan Lewis. Like if anybody brings up Macklemore, you're like, and with Ryan Lewis, and they're like, okay, Aaron,
I don't really give a fuck about Macklemore.
you didn't used to.
Just and just, I have nothing against him. I don't care. I just don't care. You
Yeah.
know, Tree. Tree's made music that a lot of people enjoy. I heard that political song that he made recently. But
And it
I don't fucking
made
care.
the hair on the back of that fucking neck of yours go point right up. So you went to this thrift store, Lanalax Thrift, and you were gonna leave without getting anything because it just seemed like there wasn't really anything good. Um, for some reason, there's a surplus of like toilet lids,
It's the lids,
just the lids, and so you're like you don't really understand what's going on.
like not the ring, just
Just
the
the lid,
lid.
yeah.
What
So
the fuck?
you turn to leave, and then you just see a very old snapshot, a photograph, from what appears to be. It's one of those weird nebulous time periods where looking at it, you're like, this could be the 1870s, this could be, the early 1900s. Like, I don't know. It's just this weird, timeless, old timey kind of photo,
Okay,
you know? And it's a photo of a like very crafty raccoon.
okay,
It's like holding its hands up like it's a boxer.
okay.
It's got like a mischievous glint in its eye. And for some reason, you are like really drawn to this photograph. And there's no price on it. You bring it to the front. The guy working there is like, oh, yes. Hello, sir. How can I help you? And you're like, I'd like to purchase this photograph, please. And he looks at it and he's just like, oh, man, just take it. And he gives it to you. His hands shake as he does it.
What the fuck?
So
I go,
you
you
bring,
okay? Your hands are shaking.
he goes, oh, yeah, no, I haven't. had lunch yet, and I'm extremely diabetic.
Do you know what's the deal is with this picture?
He goes, we just had like a, we had, we had too much, man. We had too much. So you can just have it, dude.
Okay, that's weird, but I would probably just consider myself lucky and take it.
His eyes go wider than any set of eyes that you've ever seen in your fucking life. And you're just like, thank you. You leave. You're like, you can never pass up a deal, you know?
You know me too well.
Aaron, let's make a deal, Brooks. You mutter to yourself. So you bring the photograph home, and you're like, again, you don't know why you're drawn to it, but you are. And you hang it up in your living room. That night, you went to sleep, dreamed
How
of a
big
how.
is this photograph?
It's like an 8 by 10.
Okay, that's already framed and everything.
It's already framed, yeah. And
Okay,
so you go to sleep that night. You dream of a howling void. You wake up the next day, stretch every single bone in your body. You clear your tight little throat and you jump out of bed. You
gross.
you walk into the next room and you feel like something's different.
Something's different in here.
Yeah. You say out loud, "Hey, something's different in here." You look
That's
up.
how I say it.
That's exactly how you
Like,
say it.
like a fucking asshole.
Well, I didn't say that. So, you look up and you see your framed photo is still there,
Yeah,
but it's like empty now. Like the raccoon's gone.
great. Hmm. So there's like a fucking angry, ready to fight, knows how to stand in order to throw a punch kind of raccoon lost somewhere in my house.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm just telling you that there's the raccoon's not in the photo anymore.
Where the fuck is it, Pat?
You turn around and standing there in front of you is like that same raccoon. It still looks like old timey. You know what I mean? It has still like that weird like sepia kind of hue to
Yeah,
it or whatever. And it has its hands up, but it's kind of going like this, like it's holding its palms out to you, like, okay, calm down. You know what I mean? And you
yeah.
look at it, and for just a second, you're like freaking out, but you just feel kind of calm all of a sudden. You feel like you can be around this raccoon and things will be okay. And the raccoon, you end up kind of, adopting this pet raccoon.
I just have a fucking raccoon in my house now.
Yeah, as a pet, but it's a surprisingly clean animal. That's the thing, is that you feel like there's something kind of more to this raccoon. Like it takes
Yeah,
showers.
it came out of a fucking picture, Pat. It's sepia tone. It is clearly not from our plane. Like,
So
what?
over time, you and this the raccoon, uh, which you name it Snowdrop,
What a fucking terrible name.
because it has on the top of its head like a single white, like circle of white fur,
I feel like you're glossing over the fact that I just willingly adopt this raccoon that jumped out of a picture that I bought.
Yeah,
You make it
that's
seem like it was just a very easy thing to do.
so leading up to that, you hadn't really had a lot of human contact. I got to be honest with you. And so
Okay.
it had been quite some time since you had kind of had anybody to really talk to.
But this is a raccoon that came out of a picture, Pat. This is not a friend, a lover, an
No.
acquaintance even. This is a an unreal raccoon.
and it kind of moves in with you, and you guys get
Do I
along.
have to feed it? Do I have to take it out to shit? Like,
Y-
what's the maintenance on this thing like? Like,
It's
I
very
don't want that in my life right now.
it's well, so the reason that you put up with it is that you have learned, like you've kind of figured out that the raccoon can predict sports games. It can predict anything having to do with like betting.
I was 100%. I was batting 1,000. The raccoon's not going to help me with that.
No, this was the flashback. This is the reason that you're hitting 1,000%.
Oh, okay. This is the reason because I have this fucking raccoon.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to this raccoon for all of my sports betting and tips.
Hmm.
How the fuck is it talk to me? How does it communicate with me?
So what
Again,
you
does this thing, do I have to like do anything to keep up with this thing?
yeah, so what you do is you keep track of all the games and all the different possible things that can be bet on. You have a bookie that you call that, places a bet for you. Um his name is Marvin Finks, and he is an old school bookie, dude. This guy sounds like he eats cigarettes for lunch. Whenever you call him, he's like, Aaron, I'm so glad to hear from you. Want to place your bet? And you will. And so, like, so you have like a bookie that's, weight and stuff. And so you will go to the raccoon and you decided, like, oh, I should probably like name this raccoon. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we already did that. It's Snowdrop. So Snowdrop the raccoon. So you'll be like, all right, Snowdrop, the Giants, or rather the Giants, the Alabama Giant Killers. It's an expansion team into the All Jail Football League. The All Jail Football League and gambling and the All Jail Football League have gone hand in hand almost since its inception. And
Peanut butter and jelly,
yeah, yeah, oh, of course, yeah. And
lavender and cream.
so they're the Alabama Giant Killers. Uh, they're a prison in Alabama, and
Okay.
they're playing against the uh the Seattle Tax Dodgers. This is a it's like a white collar prison kind of deal where it's people who they're there for white collar crimes, mostly financial. Um,
Yeah. They're probably going to get the shit kicked out of them.
well, you'd think that, man, but there are some very promising people that have been arrested in these past, years to come. Uh, and also the thing is that there are with these white collar dudes, it's like their prisons are so much nicer, so they have just a lot of time to work out and stuff like that. So it is it's surprisingly a very competitive game, and people are looking forward to it. So you'll go, all right, Snowdrop. So like, are they gonna beat the spread? And Snowdrop like kind of like almost looks like he's praying.
What a
And
fucking ordeal they have to go through. Jesus Christ.
and then he punches you in the balls twice.
What?
So the way that he communicates with you is you always get everything right, but it's like a yes or no type of thing. And so no is two punches to the balls, yes is three.
Why can't it be one and two instead of two and three? At some point, I'm wearing a cup.
Yeah, you can wear a cup when you do it.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, I could take a couple shots to the cup.
Yeah. And so
Fucking dog punch. Are you kidding me? Or
so
sorry, a raccoon. A raccoon. It's even
yeah,
worse.
he's a raccoon. Um lately he's taken to wearing like backwards like hats.
Where's he
So
getting them? Or I'm not like a big hat guy. How is this raccoon acquiring things?
I'm just telling you what happens.
Yep.
So later on, so like tomorrow, you have your big interview with ESPN to be the gambling correspondent. And so you're like, man, I gotta get some sleep.
Yeah.
Be fresh as daddy's daisies in the morning.
That. Oh, God.
So um you go upstairs and jump into bed. You fall asleep and you dream of the moon. You dream of just like looking at the moon, like hanging in the sky, full moon. You can almost like make out a face on it, you know. That's how
Yeah.
detailed and clear, like and huge, just absolutely gigantic in the sky that it is. Then from behind you hear like, what do you do?
What the fuck? I turn around.
And
Who's this gonna be?
standing there in your dream are like these like three like mysterious figures. They're wearing like trench coats, you know what I mean, and like those old detective hats, you know.
Yeah.
But they seem like they kind of like shimmer a little bit. There's something a little off about these guys.
Yeah. You'd say so.
And they go, "Hello, Aaron. I am." The one of them steps forward. He goes, "I am the Midnight Madman." The next guy steps forward. They're all wearing like they all look very similar, kind of gaunt, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
He goes, "I am the Midnight Stranger." And then
Yeah.
the third guy steps forward and he goes, "And I, the Midnight Rambler." Then they all say at the same time, "And we are the Sons of Midnight. Midnight, midnight."
What the fuck?
They go, one of them steps forward. He seems to be the leader, the Midnight Stranger, kind of steps forward. He's like, "Aaron, I know times are dire. I know this probably seems a little odd, but look, you tomorrow, like he's like the game tomorrow, like you have to throw it. You can't get it right. You cannot give out the picks to like this tomorrow's like your first like, thing with ESPN. You're actually going to go on like live with them. He's like you cannot give out correct picks, okay?
About this game?
Yeah. He goes, "Aaron,
Why?
look." He goes, "Aaron, it's a very long story, but if you keep like you're messing with like probability, the laws of probability and reality basically. And if you keep doing this, like giving out these things correctly all the time, like things are going to go very badly for all of us. For all of us who walk in the midnight."
I don't know what the
And
fuck that means. Like I mean, you're asking me to blow like this huge, enormous opportunity for me. You're asking me to throw this opportunity, and you're not giving me any fucking reason.
he goes, "I just gave you," he goes, "E equals MC squared, right? Well, what you're doing, what you're proposing to do is changing it. E equals MC cubed. You understand what's gonna happen?"
No, I don't. You just showed up here and started telling me this shit, saying that I had to stop fucking giving out the right picks. You're asking me to throw away the biggest opportunity of my lifetime, and you're giving me no fucking information other than some vague fucking threat that the universe is gonna unravel because I'm finally like doing okay.
Suddenly, you look over, you see like a gigantic clock, like Big Ben, and it goes to 12:01. It goes like ding dong. You wake up. So what do you do?
I mean, number one, do I really need this ESPN thing? If I'm like such a great gambler and I have all of this to my like, at some point I'd be fucking with Las Vegas, and that seems like that would be a bad move on a lot of levels.
Yeah.
It will put the entire industry at risk if one person was just knew everything. So I don't think, and I think I stand to benefit so much from just being a good gambler that like I wouldn't want to rock the boat. So I don't think I would do the ESPN thing. I think I would just keep gambling by myself and just be a good gambler, but not like a public figure that is
Yeah.
like bankrupting Las Vegas because I'm right all the time.
So you wake up that morning, you get a phone call. It's from ESPN. They're like, "Hello, Aaron. This is Lauren from ESPN, and we got your car waiting. We're right
I
out
go,
front."
Lauren, I had a change of heart. I don't think I can do this. I think I would make myself a target, and I don't think this would be a safe thing for me to do in the long run. And I'm really sorry. I wish you the best of luck.
She goes, Aaron, I don't what? What do you mean?" She goes, "This is the
I
chance
think,
of a lifetime."
yeah, but I said you have to understand my perspective of the fact that like my livelihood rides on the status quo of the sports betting industry, right? That's like I need a baseline in order to profit off of.
Yeah.
And if I go on television and start giving away money to everybody who watches, then like that's going to put a big target on my back and that show won't last for long because someone will kill me, and like it'll be an accident or whatever. And
Yeah.
meanwhile, you guys are just going to like rake in the cash from, the ads. Like imagine how much money they would be able to charge fucking Clorox or whatever if they said, "Hey, we're going to give out free gambling advice." That's 100% accurate on basic cable television. Like,
Yeah.
no, I say, I tell her, I say, I don't think it is in my best interest to be the face of sports betting on ESPN.
She starts crying. She's like, "Oh my god, they're gonna fire me for this, Aaron."
I go, well, I'm really sorry. You should have had a backup plan. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not losing my fucking life for
Yeah.
ESPN.
So she hangs up. You hang up, and you're kind of like, you're upset that this woman got fired, right? But or is going to get fired, presumably. Um, but you're also like, you know what? You're like, I have to live my life.
This woman's job hung in the balance on whether or not I decided to come on board at ESPN. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That sucks. You got a raw deal, Lauren.
Yeah.
I hope you find something that's better, that is worth your time. Because ESPN, that job sucks. If they're gonna fire you over me.
So,
Hope she lands on her feet, is all I'm saying.
yeah. So you're like, you know what? I gotta like do what's best for me. You get an email, your phone goes off. Email alert. Email alert.
Oh, that's my that's my notification for when I get an email.
Yeah.
God.
You look down. It's from Lauren.
I think I would try to help her.
Yeah.
Surely being like such a big figure in the sports betting community, I would have ins at like other media outlets
Yeah.
and I could say, hey, talk to Lauren.
Yeah.
I would try to pull some strings.
So before you get your email, you're like kind of like feeling bad, and you do pull some strings. There's this guy uh that who would be you feel would be like perfect for the role. He's also he has like a YouTube series. He's a gambler. But his whole thing is he's like, oh, I'm into the occult. You know what I mean?
No, Pat.
He's an occult
What do you
gambling like fixer, basically. And so he has his own thing. It's called Spooky Time Picks
this guy
with
sucks. They should give it to him.
with Uncle Vlad. So you recommend him. You get like an email. Do you open it?
Yeah.
You open it up. It's from Lauren. She's like, Aaron, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was kind of mad at you for a little while there, but you stepped up and you saved my ass on this. Vlad is great. Like I think things are gonna work out really well. I'm sorry that we couldn't work together, but I just want to let you know that I landed on my feet.
Great.
Thank you,
I'm
Aaron.
really glad.
You hang up. Uh, that night it's Vlad's first like segment on the show. So he goes on there and rather than give out like his picks for that week, he just said like an incantation. Everyone who heard it, watched it, they like got turned into these weird like
What?
these weird like lizard beings, you know?
What the
Uh
fuck?
so he was actually like a real occult guy, and so he did this like spell on live TV, and people who saw it live saw it, like freaked out. They turned into these weird creepy lizard beings who who like overrun the earth.
What the fuck? This sucks. Are you kidding me? Uncle Vlad?
Uncle Vlad, he brings like he's also like he's like, oh, I'm a vampire. So like there's like a whole like vampire outbreak that
Vlad?
happens as well due to the guy that you recommended. You got an email from Lauren like a month later of her being like, "Hey Aaron, I'm a zombie now. This sucks.
Fuck
Thanks.
you.
Great work,
You
Aaron."
fucking bad. Fuck off. Fuck you, all of you guys. Are you kidding me? Uncle Vlad.
Um, about a month later, Uncle Vlad let slip that you're the one who gave him the job, and a bunch of like villagers come to your place and they beat you to death.
Villagers. Great. Okay. Great. And I somehow managed to survive becoming a lizard person, and I get beaten to death by villagers.
Yeah,
This fucking sucks. Fuck this. Uncle Vlad.
yeah. So you don't live to see like the vampire apocalypse, but
Oh well.
you definitely
Oh
started.
no. Oh no. I miss out.